It's always a bad time to film around here, so I'm just gonna film anyway. That being said, if you do hear noises outside my room, once again, there's not much I can do about it, so don't worry about it. I'm just gonna film and try to get at least 2 videos done today, maybe 3. So here's to the first video. And this first video, as you can tell from the thumbnail and the title, is going to be the mid-year freak out book tag. I don't know where this originated, but it's a book tag that booktubers have been doing for years, like 10, 15 years, maybe 10 years. I think it might be 10 years old at this point, but it's been going on for a while. I'm gonna pick and choose some of the questions because some of them don't necessarily apply to me, and I'll talk about that when I get there, but I'm just gonna start this right off as quickly as possible and talk about the best book that I read so far in 2026. In an effort to not repeat a bunch of books and to not have like 4 books for every single prompt, I tried to scrounge through my Goodreads and really think back on the books that I read, and I decided to go with King's Cage for this question, or for this prompt. I guess it's not a question, but for this prompt. And that's because I loved the Red Queen series so much, and I honestly don't remember which one was my favorite, but I really, really loved the series, and I don't think I have it on this book tag again. There are a couple other books that totally could have fit in this category. I've read a few. I don't have like a very best book of 2026 because I have 3 or 4 absolute favorites. But some of them I could put in a different category. So for best book, I'm gonna say King's Cage. But the entire Red Queen series was just so much fun. Such a good time. The second prompt is best sequel of 2026. And I do have 2 for that, I think. Why do I have 2? And I do have 2 for that. And the first one, obviously, is Days of Blood and Starlight. And that is just because this series, this trilogy, is my favorite of all time. I've read it multiple times now. I'm currently in the middle of a reread. It's so good. So this has to be best sequel on my list. But because I use this in so many different videos and because it's a reread, not like a new read, I also included After You for this prompt also. How many times can I say also? But I included this because it is technically a sequel to Me Before You. I think Me Before You can definitely be read as a standalone. It's a very good standalone. I enjoyed it a lot. But After You was a pretty good follow-up sequel also. I had a good time reading this one also. I don't think it caught me as much as Me Before You from what I'm remembering, but it was a good sequel. Otherwise, I don't have anything for this list because I haven't read any series this year. I've read the first book to a couple series. I have not read any full series except for The Maze Runner, and I think that was technically last year. And that's definitely not making it on the list for best book of anything. So these are the 2 that I have to pick. What?
You aren't filming?
I am filming.
I didn't hear anything.
That's because I hear noise, so I pause and wait.
Oh, we're gonna try to be quiet so you can film. That's why I stopped to tell you.
Thanks. So these are the 2 options that I have for this prompt. The next 2 prompts for this tag are first, a new release that you haven't read yet, but that is out. And then the second prompt is a new release that's not out yet. So your most anticipated new release of the year. And I don't really keep up with the books that are being released. I have way too many on my TBR already. I don't keep up with the next book I want to get that's not even out yet. So I'm not going to answer those 2. I'm not even going to look it up this year. We're just going to skip those 2. So moving on to the 5th prompt, that would be the biggest disappointment of the year. And I feel kind of bad saying this, but it has to be Hadassah by Tommy Henney. I had really high hopes for that book, and it wasn't like the worst thing I've ever read, and it wasn't even the worst thing I've read this year, but it was a disappointment just because it really did not meet my expectations, and it was just kind of a boring time. So I have a full review on that. I have a full review for most of these books if you're interested in hearing more about them, but that was probably my biggest disappointment. Number 6 is biggest surprise of the year. And for that, I chose The Wind-Up Girl because I can't stop thinking about this book. I loved so much about it. I didn't love everything about it. There are a couple scenes that I wish I could just cut out because I don't really feel like they were needed, at least not the way that they were written. But overall, I really loved the characters and the world building and the plot and the way that everything tied together really well while also being separate for most of the book. So I thought it was really, really well done, and I've been putting this one off for a while because I was afraid I wouldn't like it. So it was a surprise just how much I liked it. And this was my other option for best book so far because I can't stop thinking about it. Every few weeks or months, this just pops back into my head. And I would love to see a really good adaptation of this book. I don't think that's ever going to happen, but I would love to see it. And I'm looking forward to reading it again at some point in the future. The 7th prompt is a favorite new author. And I don't really have something for this, so I just pulled Tracy Lange, or Lange, or however you pronounce her last name, but the author of We Are the Brennans. And I'm putting her in here because I did really like her writing style. And while I haven't read anything else by her, I don't even know what else she has published. I know that this was the book of the month in 2021, which would mean, I think it was 2021, and that would mean that she was a debut author in 2021. So it's possible she's written a bunch more books. It's possible she hasn't written any. It's only been 5 years and a book takes a long time, usually. But I did really enjoy this book and her writing style, so I'm going to count her as my new favorite author, but with the caveat that I haven't read anything except for We Are the Brennans. Prompt number 8 is your new fictional crush. And I'm just going to count this as like new favorite character, basically. Is that the next one? Oh, that is the next. Well. And for fictional crush, I use this very lightly because there aren't very many book characters that I'm just like absolutely crushing on usually. But I do have some favorites where I'm like, ooh, they're really cool and I want to see more of them. And it's more than just like, oh, they were well done. It's like, yes, I love this character and I want to see this character in everything. So for that, I'm going to pick Maven from the Red Queen series as my first choice because even though he's a psychopath, I had so much fun every time he came into the book and I couldn't wait to see him and I wanted more of him in every single book. So Maven has got to be my top pick for this prompt. My second pick was Adam from The Love Hypothesis, which I haven't done a review on yet, but I'm hoping to film that probably not today because my camera's gonna die way before that anyway, and it's just not a good time to film. But I will be filming that review soon and putting that out in the next couple weeks. I really loved Adam though. He was, I don't know why. I usually don't like the dark and broody type. Like that's not usually my favorite character. But Adam was dark and broody in a way that wasn't completely annoying and like I could actually stand him. He was still kind of funny and he wasn't like so broody. He was just very subdued, I think. So I had a really fun time reading about Adam, or listening. I listened to the audiobook, but Adam's my other pick for that prompt. And right on the back of that is your favorite or new favorite fictional character. And there are so many I could pick for this from this year. I've had so much fun with every book I've read, pretty much. And I have a lot of favorites. I have a lot of favorites from The Wind-Up Girl. Anderson was definitely a favorite. And I can't remember his name off the top of my head, but the tiger, they call him the tiger in The Wind-Up Girl. I really liked him also. So I have a couple favorites from that, but I don't know if they're like, they didn't really make this list. They're just kind of honorable mentions. But what I put on my list, I have, I mean, 3, but kind of more. Everybody from We Are the Brennans. I loved everybody. That was such a good book and such a good time. I don't remember the brother's name now. Maybe Jack? I feel like his name is Jack, but the younger brother in that book, I really, really liked him. I just had a really fun time with that whole book though. So that was like the first thing that came to mind was everybody from We Are the Brennans. Secondly, I really liked Clamp from Lucinderella. So Clamp is the narrator of this book, and I really liked this book. This also was a big surprise. So this could have gone for that prompt too. I was surprised how much I liked this book, but I really liked Clamp, Cliff, whatever you want to call him. I liked him a lot. He was a great narrator and a fun time. So I liked Clamp. And thirdly, I put Luoji from the Three Body Problem trilogy. And he was a favorite just because I didn't feel like most of the characters in that series were really memorable and I didn't really connect with most of them. But Luoji, I knew his name and he was kind of distinct and I really enjoyed when he was in the book or like on screen, on page, whatever. I really enjoyed hearing about Luoji, so he counts as a favorite. For a book that made me cry, I have to pick Me Before You. This one had me in tears, so many tears. This made me cry so much. Oh, there was another one I was gonna pick. Magonia. Okay. My other pick for this, I totally forgot. Okay, let me finish talking about Me Before You. So, Me Before You, very, very sad, made me cry. But also, there was a scene in Magonia that made me cry also. The ambulance scene, so very well done. Oh my goodness, that got me. So this one also made me cry, and I forgot that I was gonna put it on this list. Okay, what was a book that made me happy? A book that made me happy, I'm going to repeat and say We Are the Brennans, just because it was like family and it was so fun. Like I felt like the characters were my friends and my family, so this book made me happy to read. See how fast we can do this. I'm out of battery. Okay, dear Lord, let it continue and work. Most beautiful new books. 2 of these were given to me, 1 of them I bought, but I'm gonna include this one, The Forest King's Daughter. I haven't read it yet, but I think this cover is just really, really pretty, and I like just like a monochrome type cover, so I like that one a lot. This one was also gifted to me, City of Bones. I haven't read any of the series yet, but a friend was giving it away, and I said, well, I can't not take a special edition. So this is another one. And then I bought this one, but Pride and Prejudice, I just think this is a really pretty copy. And I'm gonna try to race through this next question because my camera is so about to die. So I'm just praying, God, let it last. So the last question is, or the last prompt is a book or books that you need to read this year. Pride and Prejudice is first on that list. Not like the next one that I'm gonna read, but I really need to read Pride and Prejudice. I've read a couple other Jane Austen, I just haven't read this one. So this is on the list. I'm including The Shack because I either need to read this or get rid of it. So this is on here for this year. The To All the Boys I've Loved Before trilogy. This is on here just because I'm planning to read it next. So it's an easy one to put on here and then cross off. Nicholas Sparks' Counting Miracles. I could either read this one or The Wedding, but I kind of really want to read this one. So I'm going to put this on here because I usually read a Nicholas Sparks in the summer and I haven't done that yet. So this one needs to be read in July. And then The Help. I don't know if I'm going to get to this year, but I need to. I really, really need to just read The Help. I've had it on my shelf for so long and haven't read it. I really just need to read this one. So that's on here too. I did do another video sometime this year, like in January or February, I think, where I went through and I did like a, I don't remember what it's called. Oh my goodness. I can't remember what it's called, but I'm going to put a card up and I went through a bunch of books that I have to read this year. So that one, I tried not to repeat books in this mid-year freakout challenge. I might have repeated a couple, but you can also check out that video and see like what books are really, I really need to read them. It's like crunch time and I need to just read them. But anyway, okay, so I just tried to fly through that. Thank you for bearing with me. I hope that you enjoyed the video. Please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And go ahead and answer these prompts down below if you want to. Also, I would love to hear like what you're reading, what your favorites have been, what your disappointments have been, all of that. So leave that in the comments down below, and I will see you in the next video. Bye-bye.